Welcome, everybody. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath. One more deep breath, sending out lots of love to the world. Sending lots of love and blessings out to you guys as well. Hope you're having a great day, and thank you so much for being here. I'm going to roll the die. We have the Twin Flame main read on the table, and I have a Metatron read, which was very cool today. Again, totally new messages that were very interesting and profound as well. And today is the 9th of March. The 9 is the Hermit. We started the video at 8:26, which is the 8 of the dance, strength, and the manifestation of dreams. And then the 26 is the Page of Wands, which is that little inspiration that gets us going. And it's the 9th of the Hermit, and the day adds up to 18, which is the moon, and the purple moon, and 9/18, which is my birthday. And then we have, this was interesting too. So I didn't get going. I didn't sleep. Last night I slept really well, but the night before I didn't sleep at all. So last night I didn't go to sleep till I think 3 a.m. I'm like, how am I still awake? I didn't sleep last night. And I slept till like 12:30 today. So I slept really well. And I fasted all day. I didn't sleep from, yesterday till I got home from the grocery store late this afternoon. So I went to the grocery store, and on the way there to the post office and the grocery store, I was behind license plate JPW 5555, which is interesting because we were talking about JP, Michael Sala's military contact yesterday, and the 4 or 5s is so much of change, and that wake-up call with the 20. And then on the way home from the grocery store, I was behind, and that was at 2:55, which was wrong because I think my clock hasn't been changed, so it's an hour off, I think. But at 2:55 is when I got the JPW 5555, and then at 4:44 on my way home, I happened to look at the time, and I was behind license plate NOAA 011. How cool is that? Because NOAA came up this week too. And I took 8 bags to the store with me today. So number 8 was coming up as well. And I started this Metatron read at 4:51 to 52. 41 and 52, or 51, 52 is the King and Queen of Swords and the 4 of the Emperor, which is also stability. And here is the Metatron read from today. This is the bottom of the deck, the underlying energies. First card out, going across. And then these 3 cards are together, and then these 4. So usually there's 21 cards to here, and then sometimes a 22nd or 23rd. And then this is addendum down here if my guides are telling me to pull out more cards than that. So that is the message for today from Metatron deck. I'm going to roll the die as well for the twins today for March 9th, 2022, going into the future. And being present, twin flames for today. Okay, we have Mercury here, which is Gemini and Virgo, and communication. We have Taurus here, which is the North Node right now, which is your direction north. And we also have number 5, which just came up in those 4 5s. 5 is the Hierophant. It's also change, expansion, and freedom. And that's also Taurus energy with the Hierophant. And then Gemini and Virgo. So Gemini and Virgo are mutable. Taurus and Taurus, so there's 2 Taurus energies there, which is more stubborn, but it's also in the North Node position, so it may be a benefit to us to be stubborn in certain ways, or be persistent, maybe not the right word to use. All right. And I'm noticing too that they both, have those little devil horns on their head, right? Like a little kids who are being a little bit devilish there. That can be a mom and a kid too. And change. Yeah. And 5 is also excitement and vacations. So that might be stuff that you're doing too. Remember, with excitement and vacations, there's always change involved with that and movement. So I did this read at 451 to 52. The underlying energy, the bottom of the deck card was the New Dawn card with the 10, which is destiny and high vibration. And the first card out was the chakra card of the Queen of Cups, which is that Mary Magdalene energy. The elements were fire and air in this read, and the colors that came up were lilac, yellow, red, and pink. So yellow and pink are very much that energy of compassion. And then red, of course, is the root chakra. And then lilac is the crown, basically, energy. So going from root to tip with lots of compassion. And I started processing at 5 on the nose. So a lot of zeros or source energy backing up the 5. Again, we were talking about lots of 5s here, and 444, 5555. And by the way, not only my business is 3344, but my phone number was, I can't remember anymore, 5544 or 44, yeah, 5544. But when I switched services, I told them I wanted to keep the same number, and I didn't even realize until like a year later that they didn't keep my old number. They changed it, so I'm not going to use my landline anymore. It's more for just emergencies. But anyway, that number was coming up from my phone as well, the 5544. So at 5 o'clock, with the 5 and change, expansion and freedom, excitement, vacations, and the Hierophant, which is all about guidance and commitment and societal norms and religion, of course. And sometimes the Hierophant is God, but in the traditional sense. And then we have the dragon here coming up as the first card in the underlying energy. And Anki was also coming up yesterday. The sun, fire, strength of the dragon, and Atlantis, and the pyramids, feeding the collective that energy, right? Because you've been feeling the war going on, right? The aqua, rose, gold, high heart for love, relationships, and harmony. So again, everything you feed in back to that love transmutes that energy. So that's our job, is to transmute those energies when they come up, which may not feel pleasant at times. As the heart is opening, it is blossoming here, and I was getting, quote unquote, cleaning the decks. In the valley of the shadow, that's now with sunlight illuminating everything. The path is now fully illuminated in high vibe, new dawn, destiny, welcome back. A rose blooming in the desert is exactly what I was getting right there. So a rose blooming or growing in the desert where it doesn't belong, right? It doesn't normally grow in the desert, just like the olive trees I tell you about all the time in Morocco that they're extra potent with beneficial nutrients because it's learned how to survive in a place that it doesn't normally grow. The same thing with the pine trees in northern Canada, and the same thing with adrenochrome, only that's in a negative sense. These other things are in a positive sense. The adrenochrome, we transmute that by using that same knowledge in a benevolent way, okay? So again, it's transmuting the lead to gold. So, and that comes up with the Venetian waters too, because they're so dirty that whatever grows in the Venetian waters is that same kind of principle. If they can, it's like surviving against all odds, then it becomes extra potent in certain ways, in very beneficial ways to us. So where there was no life before, there's exposure of love that is destined here. And at 508, which in numerology 5 and 8 are greased lightning, the Queen of Cups comes up again first this week. All week it's been either the Queen of Cups in the beginning of the read to the King of Cups at the end, or the King of Cups at the beginning of the read and the Queen of Cups at the end. And today the Queen of Cups was at the beginning of the read and the King of Cups at the end. And as soon as greased lightning came up in the Queen of Cups, Sandy and Danny came up. And notice Sandy is like Archangel Sandalphon, and Danny about the Dan tribe. So here Sandalphon was coming up as the Lemurian energy and the Dan tribe of Atlantis. The Sand at the Y in the road and the Dan at the Y in the road are Sandy and Danny. and the two Y's together, one upside down and one right side up, makes the star of 6 lines inside the circle, which then becomes the wheel. They together, the Y and the wheel, become the greasy wheel, as light meets grease. Mu and Ra, M and L, Ashman and Elohim, or the bright light man, the stroke of light, the genius, the epiphany, and the Elohim of the ELO hymn or human song, the electric light orchestra song, and the shaman, the young fiery cat with who's dry, fresh, and new king, and the shoeman, who is the horse, where the shaman and the shoeman are the horse buggy, and the shoeman, shoe means she-man, which is also the key of this and here and now. Gladys Knight and the Pips, and 3 blind mice. As the Queen of Cups is activated in her light body, which then activates the wounded warrior's Kundalini rising, as you are held in the sunset by reflection of ancestors and compassion as each day ends. The King of Wands is off balance and needing to come together for pause to receive healing. Magnetizing out and healing hands in, and then the Om of the AUM, and then space is that 4th note in the void of creation of human ID or interdimensionally. The symbol of the Om of what looks like 30 with a crown on top. The home or the union crowned with source support of abundance, the 0 and the 3. By using your crown at 525, which is the Hierophant and the Knight of Wands, your crown with the diamond light on top, walk away and within to the castle on a cloud in the purple moon, or 0 point, where all signs lead north or up or home, which is the dot in the middle of the circle, where all roads lead home, ready for blast off, a message of higher realms and magic, leaving a trail behind it for others to follow. The path there, and then leaving a trail for others to follow. So again, there's that going both directions at the same time. And then Disney was coming up as dis-ease, Disney. And knee, the N-E-Y, means an end-blown flute. So it literally translates as a bad high-pitched sound, or in other words, something that's off-key, causing pain or injury, difficulty and trouble, or ennui, which is melancholy, boredom, depression, or annoyance. And so I looked up Disney to see what headliners were coming up, and it was Disney CEO comes out against Florida LGBT education bill, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi is on the run. The fight is done, and new Pinocchio. And they were advised to stay hidden, as the Emperor was hunting those who survived the purge, and that was all coming up from Obi-Wan Kenobi. And that was at 5:38, the Hierophant and the Queen of Cups. Codependencies and the Knight of Swords being key to the freedom. And remember, the key was coming up with the horseshoeman. Remember, Mr. Ed is that horse of Sagittarius energy of expansion and freedom. Is coming up with the Schumann resonance, but as the shoe man, like a horseshoe. And then the horseshoe is also coming up today because, which will come up a little bit later, but Hydra, the Messier 83 in the Hydra constellation is called the Pinwheel Galaxy. And it looks like 2 horseshoes kissing. And I posted that before because I did a drawing of it. So the quantum entanglement of other dimensional interference, which is coming up as the equation of if and only if that third party can entangle, but without disturbing the natural flow that's already in process, then the lock then can open. And this is why the soldiers were unable to enter for those of you who listened to Michael Salla, JP, reporting on being in the Ark and what he saw, when the soldiers were unable to enter a room where the native Indians were allowed to go in because their energy was accepted into that space. Their coding, their DNA, their high vibe resonance were keys to get in. As above, so below, self-love, spiritual love, and new love, or 1, 2, 3, and then you can jump. 2 pink weeping willows who reach out for each other. You reach up to your ET relatives, and they reach down, closing the distance gap, one step at a time. You have to ask, right? Number one, you won't get assistance from your guides unless you ask for it. But number two, we're closing the gap where we both have to reach up to each other. It doesn't work one way. It's just like how I've been getting, in order for that high dimensional ship to be in here near Ganymede and Jupiter, that's why the arcs are coming up. It's like a grounding cord to balance it out, just like ether and gravity. So closing the distance gap one step at a time with space and time to ground and integrate, or mastering. Fly free in transition of the diamond light breaking through to the other side. The rainbow, the arc, the bridge. Remember that the wind is beneath your wings, and the wind is the air, which is the same relationship of gravity to ether. Ether's gravity beneath is the feet, whereas the wind beneath your wings. As movement of air or wind becomes sound and whipping up a little something. The movement of ether slows us down and makes us breathe slower, more dense, more affected. So stay light on your toes and twinkle. Wake up wherever you are. Align and note and tone, single file, one at a time, in your own lane, Lois, as Superman is in a hurry home for supper, and they might knock you out of their way by accident. And that's interesting too, because an accident came up in the read yesterday. Natural boundaries of love here are patience, balance, and nature. You must first follow the yellow brick road to get to the wizard of O2, the one who knows how to spin oxygen and tank, or free radicals and fly. To the castles, you and I, at 5:59, which is the Hierophant and the war within of the Five of Swords. To the castle, you and I. 3, 2, 1, jump. Or 3 versus 1, jump. 3 to 1, jump. Gladys and the Pips to perform, to get you to touch lips in the quantum entanglement and longitudinal catalyst. And the longitudinal catalyst comes up from Dan Winter and Elena Danon's video, if you want to check him out. He's the physicist it's very difficult to listen because he speaks very fast and he's very intelligent. So it might be above your head, because it's definitely, most of it's above mine. But I listened very carefully and wrote notes, and then it was very easy to understand after that. And then you get your own downloads about it, and then you understand. So it's 6 o'clock, which is double zeros behind the 6 of the lovers. A higher love as Glenda and the Munchkins follow their lead of Gladys Knight and the Pips. And then the Carpenter and Just Be, as you hug that buttercup. And you notice the Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene reference right there of the Carpenter just being, and you hug that buttercup, which buttercup yellow is Mary Magdalene, reflecting beneath your chinny chin chin, huffing and puffing until you let her in. As Puff is her friend coming to her aid, Puff the magic dragon who lived by the sea, or the whispering bench, and overheard the air from your breath making a sound. Did that sound resonate with you? Is that who you are? The two inner children loving each other, so sweet to each other, with pollen and honey, leading the way and answering the call, up 8 to 12, or 15 if you want steps. It's your call, as long as your flame is in hand, and the keys of the shoe man jumping through hoops for you. Come up and out to journey on the tree of life, the sacral to the golden gate, the feet to the wings. First we crawl, then walk, run, and fly, as the shaman or the ash man, and the shoeman, which is that horseshoe, leading to the pinwheel galaxy of Messier 83, and the Hydra constellation, in which there is asexual reproduction practices, and it's really hard to kill it, the Hydra. And the Hydra is also a freshwater polyp that looks like a pinwheel, with a cylinder body and oral opening surrounded by tentacles, which Tenton occult is an ironwood tree. A problem that cannot be solved easily or quickly, difficult to fight, and a water snake with ironwood, very dense and hard and strong and Australian, and holds up to pressure and strain. Sleigh runners, tool handlers, and levers. It is so toxic it takes 1,600 years to decompose, and some hallucinogenic in it as well. The balance of cellulose, which makes it really dense, and together the cellulose with air and water determines the weight of the wood, as opposed to the weight of the world, known as the hardest wood in the world at 5,060 pounds per force. So this was coming up as a pinwheel surrounded by ironwood trees, or things made of ironwood, which is the hardest tree in the world. The Hydra, again, is the constellation there with the pinwheel galaxy within it. It's next to Alpha Centauri. And a portal through a tunnel. The Hydra is literally then, because of this, the picture of the freshwater polyp, which looks like a pinwheel. So obviously the Messier 83 in the pinwheel galaxy is representative of the Hydra constellation, of the two-headed monster, basically, whose heads keep growing back no matter how many times you cut their heads off. It's like, why do I keep forgetting that? The plant that grows no matter how much you try to kill it, that's everywhere. And it's a Japanese plant. Why am I blanking out? But anyway, it's that same kind of energy like the other stuff that I was talking about, where something grows no matter where you put it. When it learns to grow in a place where it shouldn't grow, that's where it becomes extra potent. So here's that energy from Hydra, a portal. So remember the cylinder with a mouth at the end, and then the tentacles around it, kind of like the octopus mainframe that's been coming up in the reeds, right? Because the tentacles grow back if they're cut off, like the Hydra. So it's a portal through a tunnel, surrounded by the hardest wood in the world. So you can take that any way you want. It's really funny, actually. A portal through a tunnel, surrounded by the hardest wood in the world, which you notice is a vagina, and it's from Australia. So Uluru is coming up here, and that may be regarding the portal in Uluru, working to be asexual or be able to reproduce on their own. Messier 83, or the pinwheel. And when I wrote wheel, instead of the W, it looks like a Q and then heel. So the pinwheel was coming up here, but also the Q of quantum energy and the heel. Oh, that's interesting, because I wasn't getting that before. And the heel, and it was just bringing up for me when I was in gymnastics. I was at gymnastics camp one summer, and the coach we were tumbling with overturned my back flip, and I landed on my heel, and I had tendonitis in my heel, and I screamed. It was like a needle going from my heel all the way up my body. So there's something about the heel and the connection of the heel to the body that's coming up regarding the quantum energy here. And remember also the back of the heel, the pressure points have to do with the spine, so it makes sense because that would be the chakra layers as well. So Messier 83, which is the pinwheel galaxy, and inside Hydra constellation. And so pinwheel was coming up as my pin example that I always show you, of how the pin is the masculine and the feminine. It's like a collecting, like a gas station for sunlight, for the feminine to collect the sun, and it goes down into the loops at the bottom, which first loop is hers, going into the second loop, which is the masculine, going into the back of the pin, which is the masculine, and then the housing on top. And as it fills up, the pin shuts closed and creates a vacuum until the masculine uses up the energy, and then it falls open again, ready for fill up again. So the pin example, and if you draw a pin, you notice it also looks like a penis with balls, and next to it is the wheel, which is coming up as the star earlier of the two Y's in the road coming together, which is a six-pronged star. With a circle around it becomes the wheel, which also is like the shutter of the eye or the vagina that is self-regulating, the penis and the self-regulating portal. The penis sees the sun and the flower in that wheel, and the vagina sees a filling station of light in the pin. When you put the pin into the wheel, it becomes the rod and staff, the axle to the wheels, the water wheel, the sewing wheel, which is Gandhi's sewing wheel. So we have the water wheel, which is the purifying of the water, or the Virgo energy, going into the Libra, which is the preparing the thread to be woven on a grid in a very balanced and even way. The dance of the middle of the astrological chart, of staying towards the middle but erring towards the light. The truth of the root chakra and the safety and security, and the TP or toilet paper and the peace pipes or your intestines. The shaman of the earth, Terra and Gaia. The Empress and abundance, and the collective awakening and coming full circle with the Knight of Wands, with a love for life and passion. So at 7:20, which is the Chariot and the Judgment, or the wake-up call, the Knight of Wands with a love for life, whose energy is affecting, it's steaming up through the collective, right? It's like catching that passion, like it's in, what's the word I'm looking for? It's catching, what's the phrase? Their energy is, now I'm getting intoxicating. But again, it's affecting the collective in a good way. The passion and creation of preparing for spring. Review and reflect, High Priestess Divine Feminine, with time out needed in the purple moon. As the King of Cups detaches from drama, and I was getting like Wisconsin drama, like drama, and look up at the sunrise, crossing over with Metatron magnetic service that's always open to the other side of the tracks, the train tracks, or in other words, God's rail, the grail, the holy grail, the hole or portal at the Y in the road, the 0 point, on God's rail, or his railroad tracks. The DNA tracks being upgraded, sitting together in 2 different locations, day and night, or night and day, you are the one. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why, oh then why can't I? Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. As white lights come up, and Noah's arks, Lloyd's bridges, and Milky Ways of the Mother. Then the Wrights brothers, who showed us that we could fly, in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, where NC is the code for NASA research cargo plane designations, but also no change, no connection, and normally closed. And the one that was the best for me here was Nick's class, and my nephew Nick is the one I always send information to. So Nick's class means the complexity class of decision problems solvable in polylogarithmic time using a polynomial number of processors. NC also means no contest. Add nitrocellulose, which you notice came up in the ironwood tree. And it's like nitrocellulose is a cotton-like material made from cellulose, okay, relating to the ironwood tree, the strongest wood in the world, right? By action of nitric and sulfuric acids used in explosives or colloidin, etc. So back to Nick's class, the way that's interpreted, literally, the complexity class of decision problems solvable in polylogarithmic time using a polynomial number of processors, is interpreted as high-level problem solving of multiple logos and rhythmic time, or word and song, using multiple number processes, or in other words, symbols, interdimensional symbols and codes, and mathematical heart minds. Noah's, again, that's called Nick's class if you want to look it up. And all of my definitions come from Wiktionary. In general, I go to Wiktionary and Wikipedia for definitions. If it's something other than that, I usually give you the site. So Noah's Ark, the wind beneath your wings. And remember, wings is a W of 2 U's in 1/2, or inside, in 2 anointing each other. The bridge inspiring the Page of Wands with pink self-love, nurture, and compassion. The shell, or the shill, or she will, at the right angle, shining rays of 98 degrees from the light bulb of the womb, energized by the heart, just like the light bulb upside down, where the part where the energy goes into the light bulb is coming from the heart down to the womb. And the light bulb third eye is energized by the throat chakra. Meditation for clarity on the shadow, and shower yourself in diamond white light. As the Atlas beacon, lighthouse that you are, the brick house that couldn't be blown down, even with mighty waves coming in, or storms brewing at 7:56, the Chariot and the Two of Swords. Remember the wolf and the three little pigs. If you're going to be lazy, make sure you have a sibling who isn't lazy and is a carpenter and is willing to kill wolves and not dance with them. It's hard for one to win against three, but remember, wolves will be wolves and pigs will be pigs. And if both became vegetarians, we'd have none of this killing nonsense. Exactly, nonsense. Be pro-senses. If the wolf had used his knowing as to when the pigs were outside away from their house, he could have sneaked up on them from behind without notice and then occupying their house when their siblings came to visit. A lion eating you is no different than you eating them. They may not be human, but they still have little mouths to feed too. The difference is that even if not raised with lions, humans can choose not to eat them anyway, still loving them even if you didn't know them since birth or since they were a cub. The underlying energy of the read is about the dragon and the dragging on and activating the high heart and the sun in the valley of the shadow of death, and the Queen of Cups and the King of Wands with a message of transition, flying with time out to review. The wounded warrior healing the family tree with a wake-up call of truth and balance and staying in their own lane, especially with the King of Cups who needs to look up. And the ending, where the end is just a little harder when brought about by friends, and that's from Jesus Christ Superstar. For all you know, this wine could be my blood, this bread my body, if you could just remember me when you eat and drink. Om, pause, say a prayer of abundance with your crown. Reach out and touch someone with love. Daily natural boundaries of patience, balance, and a higher love. Get on the arc today, inspiring the third flame and always open to suggestion. So there's your Metatron read for today. All right, so now we go into the Twin Flame read on the table. And this was done at 10:36, which is the wheel, and the 36 of Atlas and the weight of the world upon your shoulders. And the Netflix stuff that came up last night was the Love is Blind reunion came up, as well as Lies and Deceit. So there you go. They definitely relate to each other. At 10:07, I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck. I'm going to show you the picture of that read. This is the main read for the read on the table for the twin flames. It's just general energies for all of the twins. It's actually more of a romantic angle. I've been adding a little bit of romance to when I intend the read. And then here is the full 7-deck read here. Okay. So at 10:17, which is the wheel, and the 17 of the 10:07, it was cut, and then so that's the chariot and the wheel. Then at 10:17, 17 is the star, dreams and dreams coming true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. AR came up, which is the reflection of Ra, which came up earlier. And R is the same thing as saying I am, you are. And then at 10:36, when I completed the read, it's the 10 of the wheel and the 36 of the Atlas energy, then the weight of the world. And of course, the wheel, we were just talking about the wheel, as in the water wheel, and the spinning wheel of the sewing wheel. And of course, the cars as well, and the axle that actually drives it, the rod and the staff. The major arcana here were the Starseed, which is the Fool, the Lovers, Ascension, which is the World, Guidance, which is the Hierophant, and the Star were the main cards in the read. Before the read, the Chariot came up, and after the read, the Hanging Man came up. 1 pentacle, 3 cups, 2 wands, and that was it. So 1, 3, 2, which is instead of 3, 2, 1, it was coming up as 1, 2, 3. So bringing the 1 back before the 3, right? 1 compared to 3, and then bringing it down to 2. Right? Because it should be 1, 2, 3 jump, or 1 against 3, and that's taking the 2 out of the equation. And then it becomes the 13 of transition to the 2 of the mediation and the divine feminine. The 1 of the mass and the 2 of the feminine, and the 3 of the abundance of the earth. With the Queen of Cups and the Page of Wands. The Queen of Cups coming up as that Mary Magdalene energy, and the Page of Wands, that inspired third energy. It's like the young teenage boy who's excited to tell someone how they feel or ask somebody out on a date. And then we have the energies before the read is the King of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. And after the read was the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Page of Swords. As far as the numbers, we had double ones and double tens, so all about the new beginning. The 11 and the high vibe 2 tens of the 2 wheels, again, driving the rod and staff, and balancing that. And then the 12 of the Hanging Man and the 8 of the dance, and the manifestation of dreams, of being strong inside and out, and the 28 of the twin flames and that choice of path. And in a lesser sense, the 5, which came up a lot here today as well, which is about change and freedom and expansion. And we also have 110, which is the 0 backing up the 11 of justice and truth and balance, which is also Libra energy. We have 25 of the Knight of Wands and 58 of the 4 of Swords, the 5D connection, and then 810, which is 0 backing up the 81 of the end of karma around the world. And that was it for the numbers. The code line is all about patience, environment, a green environment, and communication, and the number 11 coming from 10 and 1. And the messages came out like this. An AM, which can be morning, but it also AM is like I am, as in we are, because R just came up, and now am is coming up. So the AM or am, sudden event of the 10, the high vibe destiny, with the Ace of Pentacles, or an offer of time, money, and effort to see the GI or GU upset perhaps, or the patience. The environment was broken up into the EN for me, which is Jesus Christ type of energy, but also was coming up as the energy of the Christ consciousness. And then the Viren ment, and ment is mind and spirit. And then we have the Viren, which is the virus energy. The patience, so it could be literally hospital patience, of having energy consciousness regarding the virus and mind and spirit and staying calm. Then it was coming up as the civil servant without the eagle. And the eagle, represents, I was just getting Trump, but also the eagle is Michael Sala's symbol, and the eagle is also the symbol of many things, including the eagles, and of course it can represent the United States as well. But the civil servant without the eagle, without the gold, without the feeling of shame, without the year's harvest, without the angel or heir, without the grace or disgrace, right? It's being neutral, the civil servant. And then the AR was coming up as, which came up separately from up top, where AR came up in the words, but then it came up because the word that I looked up for AMTEN didn't come up by itself. It only came up with AMTEN and then AR at the end. So I looked up AR, which is gold or treasure, the golden thread, as we talked about the sewing wheel, the yellow, white, and bright, I plow, feeling of shame, the male, the maple tree, the scar, the mouth, sorry, sad, air, regrettable, sledge, furthermore, in addition, never, damn it, in front of, after, behind, or the all. The 2 of the mediation, or seeing both sides in order to be neutral, to plow, flower, fire, or disgrace. And the ashes came up to become dry. Honor, glory, grace, the ore, the brass and copper. the other oar like a rowing oar, and the angel and messenger also came up, the missionary year and the year's harvest, the vein as in an artery in a vein. So the appointed time, this one I love, this third interpretation was, and this, the star was coming up next to this, the appointed time without the hour, destined offer of a new life, with the number 7 of the chariot, the quilt and the blanket, of patience, green environment, and of communication. So we start with the starseed and the underlying energy on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so the card down here at the bottom is that card, the starseed reversed, and beneath that was the Ace of Cups reversed, 5 of Swords upright, the Chariot upright, the King of Cups reversed, and the Page of Cups reversed. So dumped on, perhaps purging or crying, or stretching and growing from the war within, the divine feminine within the masculine, the vehicle boldly moving, without the King of Cups reversed and the Page of Cups reversed, or with cranky King of Cups and Page of Cups who may have been knocked for a loop at 11:53 of Justice and the Knight of Swords, or rejecting a big download, and home with the Queen of Wands with issues at work and rising above or not sleeping, and being guarded, while the 5 of Cups reversed gets over loss and regret. The Queen of Cups is upright and focused on her heart. The Queen of Pentacles is bleeding out and withholding or dumping a load, or seeing synchronicities and options and heaven in their eyes, as the Empress reversed and High Priestess upright are not seeing eye to eye in a death-ending dark night or transition at 12:08, and the Empress and High Priestess can be the same person as well. And that can be Taurus reversed and Pisces upright as well. For me, the High Priestess can be Virgo or Aquarius as well. And 12:08 is the Hanging Man doing the dance, or being strong, manifesting their dreams. And then 12:09 is the Hermit, purging, dumping a load, as the frog grows to be the prince, in the chariot in an accident, or a hit and run, or drunk and rejected, or father and child falling from grace, or lacking faith, after being home with the Queen of Wands with issues at work, at war recovering from shame, guilt, or loss, or regret, and the Queen of Cups upright, or not sleeping, or in guarded condition, or with a security system now at 12:20. The Queen of Pentacles upright, betrayed or in a painful ending, dumping time, money, and effort at 12:21, and big emotional load on multiple options, or retail therapy perhaps, or unable to move forward and crying all the time, or seeing synchronicities of the Empress reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles upright, never offered effort or love, and confused by events or drinks or drugged, and the Empress reversed with a sister or secret High Priestess or Pisces, and the divine feminine or spiritual or religious woman ending a partnership and or connection, with an aid, or the Empress reversed and the High Priestess perhaps disconnected by death or transformation, or the Queen of Pentacles with a hard time, with pain or an ending pain, holding back money and love from confused Empress reversed with an aid. So that could be someone taking care of or not taking care of a parent. And the sister or secret in a disconnect or at a distance in dark night, or from Scorpio energy here. Viking, olive head, Greek, Italian, or Middle Eastern, salt and pepper, or religious woman or nurse without religious preference, or Pisces and disconnect or at a distance from Scorpio, and perhaps getting over grieving or death, or lacking a fresh start, or knocked for a loop, as the High Priestess may have a hook in their third eye, or their train, maybe they have a hook in their train, and broke off things with the King of Cups reversed, or left at the altar at 12:37, which is hanging out with the King of Cups, needing a new start and transformation with the Hermit upright and shedding light, or professional visit, with Leo or Mother being strong, perhaps folding laundry or taming the beast, holding on and being practical, or saving for the King of Cups reversed, or Virgo and Leo both upright, protecting the cowardly lion, the King of Cups reversed, or the Hermit holding light, while Leo or nursemaid takes care of the King of Cups reversed. And this could be the one, and beneath that the children, who may be affecting your love life here. With the world upside down, or the divine feminine 5D world, or Pisces reversed, and receiving new passion or growth or creativity by burning the past, by allowing energy stealing of one who distracts the lover while another steals from them. Energetic prison, anxiety, or addicted to porn, or fantasizing about romantic tie with flame, or imprisoned one with their hands tied and can't say they can't get out, or maybe they can't, or throwing out religious teachings as the turtle is too slow to romance, or one likes it fast and the other slow, or leaving the truth out of the bedroom and fantasizing about one while being with another, present to flame, imprisoned by their sexual relationships. And that was at 1253, which is the Hanging Man and the Knight of Swords, or the Messenger of Truth. So health comes up here as 71, which is the co-creation card of the Three of Pentacles for me. And beneath that, moderation of 14, which is the Temperance card of that higher love and the angels, and being patient and balanced, taking one step at a time off the beaten path, avoiding disaster or sudden changes, or in the aftermath of sudden events, epiphanies, or sexual exchange, or that quantum energy exchange. Unable to find a way out, present to the ship that has sailed, or to a gift. And the Magician reversed, insecure without tools to recover after a battle, or manipulating recovery in a losing battle at 1 o'clock, which is double zeros behind the Magician, and knocked for a loop in a death ending, dark night, or transition, or Aries reversed and Scorpio upright, and the King of Cups reversed, present to a romantic tie, with flame and healthcare issues at work after a sudden event or epiphany, and the Emperor upright implementing a plan, dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads, or offering a new life or payment to the Fool, juggling or performing at 114, the Magician and the higher love, as the Page of Swords, or a message to or of the Queen of Swords reversed, the Queen of Wands upright, and the King of Cups reversed all together here, ending conflict at home or in union or in a celebration, with the Knight of Swords reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed together, and the Star King of Pentacles upright here, deceiving justice, or Cancer reversed and Libra upright, or kids acting up after Star or Aquarius King of Pentacles, maybe up before dawn to go to court perhaps. At 134, the Magician and the energetic exchange, or arrows of love, or lots of communication and or travel back and forth. In the recent past is the Ascension reversed, the World upside down, the Pisces reversed, or the Divine Feminine 5D, and the Page of Wands inspired to purge partnership and or connection, with Patient Angel paralyzed by their passions, or falling short, falling off the wagon, or the Emperor reversed out of control player, and the Page of Swords upright stepping up to the plate, or taking or giving, or taking a swing here, the Page of Swords, maybe stepping up to the plate or taking a swing. They could be advertising there as well. As the Nine of Swords reversed, a sister, or suffering in silence and coming clean, getting clean, or cleaning up their act or space, getting over loss, regret, or shame, and holding back judgment, announcement, or needing to heed the call to action, in need of help, or needing to swallow their pride, or just one who never learns their lesson. And the foundation is the Eight of Cups upright, of walking away and within, with the King of Pentacles upright, presenting the truth to Cancer, Chariot, or to triumph or wage war. As the High Priestess, Secret, or the World is upside down, the Divine Feminine 5D at a falling out and a negative past or difficult kids. At 151, the Magician and the King of Swords. The central energy is the Lovers, and standing up to the passionate offer from the Dark Knight, Scorpio, Libra, or Justice, seeing synchronicities and satisfying self, challenged by the Ace of Pentacles reversed, withholding or saving, or bored and just grounding, integrating, and mastering new information to get clarity on it, with the Page of Cups reversed, rejected, the King of Wands, or the Page of Cups reversed is vulnerable, with the King of Wands recovering from exile with the Queen of Pentacles. And the destiny of the Knight of Pentacles reversed, who may be stuck or unable to function, or Libra unable to move on, the Healer or Star, or Aquarius guarded wounded warrior, or or the King of Wands letting the Page of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles both reversed, letting them back in. The Queen of Pentacles in a two-bowl split with the Page of Swords leaning on the Truth at 204, which is the High Priestess and the Emperor. Page of Swords leaning on the Truth, getting over loss or regret, with the Three of Cups reversed, the third party. Or that could be bad influences as well, or social distancing, or someone who's partying too much or being antisocial. And the King of Pentacles upright here at 207, which is the High Priestess and the Chariot. The King of Pentacles tackling the boar, or perhaps Leo is tackling him and trying to force them to drink the water. The Two of Cups reversed in a breakup, destined to recover and walk away. Awake with guidance, Hierophant or Taurus needing to swallow their pride, and the Magician manifesting exhaustion, perhaps after a party or coming together, weakened and need of strength to open their heart, to complete the cycle I was just getting once and for all, and to end conflict. Embarrassing oneself in front of the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community with issues, and the guidance, or Taurus, Queen of Pentacles, grounding, integrating, boredom, or just bored under the radar, or tired of failure and imprisoned by the Ten of Pentacles reverse family of dysfunction or loss, or that this family is no fantasy, that they feel trapped sharing with the Page of Wands without options, and the Three of Cups reversed, third party, or issue through work, juggling, performing, the Knight of Wands reversed, and the King of Pentacles devil, or Capricorn, no longer marking their territory, or out of control and falling from grace, no longer flirting or showing off for sovereign. And soon here is the Two of Wands reversed, with no options, and the Queen of Pentacles present to dumping a load or burden or all their responsibilities, taking off to come clean or dig up information in energetic exchange, or traveling a lot to implement a plan for clarity with the Hierophant, Taurus, or guidance. So the sovereign here may be implementing a plan to be single, or to get information about a single person who's got it all together. The twin flames are seeing themselves as the Ten of Cups reversed, which may be an unhappy family or just a lack of emotional fulfillment. Detoxing over work or things that are just not working out. And lovers upright, not fulfilled, but ending the conflict. Awake to healing with the Page of Pentacles reversed, who may be in need of help or withholding, saving, or playing hardball here. And heart-to-heart conversations, and pay attention to the red flags, which are signs and synchronicities. Engagement comes up as well here, so moving a relationship up to the next level, and then stay optimistic about your love life. Around the twins, or how they're seen, as the Queen of Cups, walking away from the Knight of Cups upright, who's offering love to the Knight of Swords reversed, Queen of Swords reversed, and the Empress reversed, a sister perhaps, or suffering in silence, unable to sleep, ending the nightmare by purging. The block here is the Page of Wands standing up to the King of Swords reversed, with communication, environment, patience, but above all, love, needing to be judged. This is someone who doesn't feel worthy and feels like someone should be judging them. The Hermit missing their flame. The Star who's upright, no longer flirting, destined, with Capricorn, Aries reversed, and Libra upright, trying to recover and leave arrogant people behind. Or the Star without peace, the Deceiver or Betrayer, or Aquarius upright here, with the Queen of Swords reversed and the Queen of Pentacles upright, and a message of awakening and ending the nightmare, or arrogance out of hiding, someone who's arrogant out of hiding, with Sovereign at 2, or maybe they're single now, at 254, which is the High Priestess in the message. Falling embarrassed, or leaving the Ten of Cups reversed and the Queen of Cups with their world upside down, or the need to get closure, or Pisces reversed, and the Lovers challenged by the Ace of Pentacles reversed, of saving without option, and the Page of Wands with guidance, or Taurus with dreams, and the Queen of Swords reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles upright with a message of arrogance, and one coming out of hiding, knocked for a loop with the world upside down in a losing battle of the Eight of Cups, leaving their lover, Taurus, marriage, and challenged by the Ace of Pentacles reversed and the Ten of Cups reversed without option, the Queen of Cups with the Page of Wands and Aquarius or Star, the Healer, the Dreamer, and the Sovereign, Queen of Swords reversed, and the Queen of Pentacles upright, and the Page of Swords who's awake and coming out of hiding. And that was it. Yeah. So let's pull a few oracle cards and see where that takes us. Let's go with the animal spirit deck first. So it's 5544 on the clock. How funny is that? Because I brought that combination up earlier. And it's 9:22 on my clock, which is the Hermit and the 22 of the Fool's Journey. Okay, so from the animal spirit deck, what do we need to know? We have the earthworm, which is that childlike energy, right? Who's intimidated. You know, they're the little one keeping their pure little energy sealed within so they feel safe. And there's that golden egg. This is very much childlike energy or birthing the new for sure. And there's the mother bear protecting their young. And there's the zebra with their intuition there activated, going against the grain. And that could be two parents who are expecting. While the bunny is nervous and hiding behind the eagle, who also came up, right, who's ready to pounce on the swans here, right? This is someone defending their young, to the swans reflecting, and the tarantula who's at the Y in the road needing to choose a path, right? So they're at a crossroads. With the raccoon who's feeling bad in the dark with a mask on still, and there's the dragon watching over everyone as the oysters all clammed up with their feelers out. When the student is ready, then the teacher will come. And the teacher could be a hothead who, if you haven't fed right, because this came up in the read too, this is the moose in this deck, or the elk rather, is a really great guy. But if you don't feed them right, or he doesn't feed himself right, he can be really arrogant and lose his temper easily. The bottom of the deck is the hawk, and Kitty Hawk came up in the read as well. So again, about flying, and there's the dragonfly. So a lot of flying energy. We have some depression regarding the independent person who wants to be two as one, related to this dragonfly here. Again, these could be two wanting to come together as one. Oh, there's more wings. There's a lot of flying going on here. Look at that in the bee. To be or not to be. And these phoenix wings look just like the hawk. So it's like the bee. That's that carpenter bee is very well balanced. They're very moderate and staying in the middle there. After there was a leak with the sea serpent and the sacral energy here. A leak in the womb. And that could be, remember I said there were twins that may get delivered early. So that could be like a sac that breaks early. With the carpenter bee who works really hard and is very practical and simple. And then the phoenix rising. The phoenix rising, ready to fly, like a really powerful energy coming out of a carpenter bee who's very simple. And then the camel who's very independent and yet a little bit blue, regarding the dragonfly who's also watery and blue, wanting to be two as one and fly together. So these two these could represent the wings of matching wings of the two here who need to come together at this time and fly. Okay, so the hawk is the underlying energy, and then again Kitty Hawk and the first flight, and this could represent the first flight, right, of when the baby leaves the nest, of parents here worried about the child leaving the nest for the first time, that kind of thing too. And this is like the mother with concerns to the father or vice versa, right, not wanting to let them out of the nest. but they have to learn to fly. So let's see what the journey of love has for us as well. I might pull another card too. Yeah, I'm just going to pull a Lenormand card, see what other energy comes up here. Lenormand. I'm just getting Norman. It's like Lenormand is like like French, Lenormand. So is there a French Norman out there? Okay, let's see what comes up here. This is the Lenormand Reverie. Revere, Paul Revere. The British are coming, the British are coming. The British are coming, the British are coming. And Norman, well, this is funny because Norman, my father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law, has passed away many years ago, but his name was Norman and my last name is Stainthorpe, which is very British. So it's really funny that the British are coming in Norman. And then we have the 6 of the breakthrough of the lovers here, with the 6 or love, family, and community. This is also delivery coming in for a breakthrough here in cutting through the crap, right? Cutting away the wheat from the chaff, you know, getting clear on something regarding a commitment with a ring, perhaps. There may be an offer here coming in of commitment with the Knight of Wands, the lovers of a high vibe relationship with the Magician. But there may be little rugrats or little pests or pets that come with the package with the King of Wands. So the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands. And the Magician and lovers. So there's also, with that is Gemini, a lot of Gemini energy here with the lovers and the Magician. And the Gemini is also the twins. So Gemini or twins energy comes up, as well as Libra, and a lot of fire here with the Knight and the King of Wands. And then we have travel. Travel here. Perhaps traveling the earth. Perhaps just driving across the country, which is funny too, because I've been talking to my kids about taking a drive. So could be talking about travels or taking a cruise, or perhaps we have the 10 of Swords here. This could be ending pain by flights of fancy, or perhaps getting stuck on a rock and not able to leave, like you can't ground because there's no water there, or a ship. It's like, you know, this is like the ship getting stuck on Plymouth Rock by accident, and then you find a new world. So that's very interesting. And there's your a whole new world. There's the 30 of spiritual peace and union with the loving woman there who's present with gifts. Look at that. And starring the show, shining her light. Sudden stardom of the Hermit. There's Virgo, Scorpio, Taurus here as well, in addition to the other energies I brought up already. And there's a public display of affection, perhaps. This could be meeting in public, or having a wedding in a park, going to a terrarium or a place with a lot of flowers and lush gardens, perhaps, and a fountain, the fountain of youth. And there's a polar bear next, perhaps a pushy mama, right? Maybe there's somebody who's a boss with the rod and staff there at work. You might have to tell them to stay in their own lane. Or there's a mother who may be pushing their son, or this could be a partner who's pushing the son, the loving man. Somebody's got their last rose to give, the 28 of the twin flames, and a choice of path. There's also Virgo and Capricorn energies here. And again, there's a rose. There's a public meet here with presents to give. Perhaps the queen, the loving woman over here, both thinking of each other at the same time in different places, which came up in the read. About the spiritual union, and again, got caught by accident at Plymouth Rock. And perhaps that changed their world with a new world, as the rider makes a breakthrough in cutting through the crap to get to the ring. To get to the ring. And getting in the ring too with, it's like fire energy. It can be a proposal for sure. But getting in the ring with, you know, to go 3 rounds or to clean up the mess, or to get the kids to clean up the mess. If they want to go anywhere on vacation or find spiritual union, or just find spiritual union at home with a clean house. And then there's just these two lovers thinking about each other here. Okay? So it's really beautiful energy. And there's the home. He's there at home with whatever burdens he's got. Atlas in the weight of the world, or the Emperor here. It could be a father or boss or uncle or grandparent that there's an issue with. And then we end in the 26th, which is cracking the codes. The burden of cracking the codes, of figuring it out, of how to get away from that wounded warrior's path and on to the journey of the Fool. The bottom of the deck is the Tree of Life. Oh, it's upside down, is it? Oh, that's so weird. It looks like a tree here with a lot of bushes around it, but it is upside down. I've never noticed it that way before because I don't read these upside down. So it is the Tree of Life, but there may be a tree. I was just getting the mulberry bush. Going around the mulberry bush. I can't think of the rhyme though. I get this looks like somebody's, like a tree with hair on it. Like somebody's neck, and this is their hair. Maybe someone dyed their hair green to match their dress. I don't know. But again, this looks like bushes circling all the way around the tree, which is unusual to see around a tree, but this is the way it normally looks, right? The family tree with the 7 of Cups, which is having lots of choices and options, of seeing synchronicities and heaven in their eyes, crossing that Metatron magnetic bridge, which is also the white arc of Noah's Ark, of the electric arc, that light that gets you from one place to another, that quantum leap of the twin flames going both ways in the same, and both directions at the same time, and being neutral by meeting in the middle at 0 point. And there may have been some communication or a letter or something, perhaps a sealed file that was opened that was inspirational to the family regarding somebody's death, or this could be doctor and patient, this could be a mortician, right? After the fox left the hen house with the little pup who needed a walk, they said, "I'm not taking you for a walk." That's so funny. I'm cracking up because my daughter just got a treadmill for her puppy because he needs more exercise, because she's trying to get him to get some of his energy out because he's so energetic. So funny. So funny. Yeah. So those are the underlying energies here regarding the family tree and getting to the other side. And again, the first card out is the message coming in, the rider, with some kind of delivery or a sealed document that gets opened. You know, like let's say someone was adopted, they find out who their parents are, or some kind of sealed record, or something that was in a sealed file, like a patient record. And this could be a message of love as well, okay? A breakthrough to clarify, to get through the crap regarding a commitment, a marriage, rugrats, or a mess in the house, or just a mess in general. And again, Plymouth Rock and getting stuck, or having an accident and bumping into someone, or going on a journey here to spiritual fulfillment and union. Okay, and this could be union with self, the journey to self, and the gifts, the stardom and the sudden epiphanies, and becoming one with nature. So it's just that whole journey of the feminine, right, in preparation to be with the masculine, at home with the stability to bring the home, but also who's not without burdens and needing to crack the codes. Okay, so it's like showing both journeys. And again, about the family tree, of going through the wounds of the family tree to get down to the roots and clear all that stuff out in order to come together. And then the other deck that brought the new child, or the new business, whatever it is, that needs to now come out and take their first flight, perhaps in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, as the eclectic one with the third eye open, and the very solid mother bear here, which both can be either sex, it doesn't matter, but these could be parents or twins coming together regarding their whole new world. Okay, so now we still have to do the journey of love. It's 9:36. We've got the 369 on the clock right now, which is the Hermit and the Atlas energy of the weight of the world. 36 is the 10 of Wands. Let's see what Journey of Love has for us today. What is our takeaway? Oh, a bunch just came up right there. Okay. Hold on, there's another little section that wants to be seen too. Let's see. Is that it? That's it. All right. So first three came out is 4 of Simplicity, which is the Emperor, who's a very simple person when it comes right down to it, of acceptance. And there's that Enchanted Forest of the 55. We talked about the 3 little pigs as well. The 55 of the Truth of the root chakra of safety and security, which is the other deck. It's the 55. And the 4 of that root stability of survival. That in order to survive is to dream. And there is the Spiral Dance of the Goddess coming out again, which came out yesterday. The 29 of being present to your gifts. To be in your knowing. And then Fire and Ice. That's not the next one. Hold on, I pulled a card. But I guess you were supposed to see Fire and Ice too. The bottom of the deck is Shakti, which is that feminine warrior energy of the sun. That's the underlying energy. And then the other cards that came out besides these 3, which is in the Enchanted Forest with the Emperor and the gifts of being present without choking off the tunnel or the throat. That could be where the throat closes up, right? Gets strangled there before it gets a chance to get out of the windpipe. Being very simple. There's a Witness there too. And then these 3 came out of Within Nothing There's Everything of the 2, the Mediation, the Divine Feminine, the High Priestess, and this is the Womb of Gaia, as we talked about the womb. And then we have the coming together of the heart, right? The 4 chambers of the heart pumping. This is like hitting the presses as well and coming together with the Queen of Pentacles and the song coming together. Right now over me. So 2 of the High Priestess and the Queen of Pentacles. The womb of the planet and the heart of the woman. Remember we talked about the life bulb that gets fed from the heart to create the growth in the womb. Right? It has to come from somewhere, the intention of the heart. And the blood dance that happens, this is like a close-up view of what's happening right here. The pumping of the heart to get things churning, like the revving of the engine of the car with the axle and the wheels. Right before the wheels turn, the engine revs up. And then I'm getting like Grease in the movie, right, with Danny and Sandy. Right? He has to get revved up before the heart starts functioning, right? The intention has to come from the heart before the masculine can come in. Because whereas the masculine starts from the sexual organs, the feminine starts from the heart. And again, coming from 2 sides of the same coin, the feminine coming from the heart down to the sexual organs, the masculine coming from the sexual organs up to the heart. So again, they both have to be activated before the creation can happen. And there's that nest energy that came out in the other cards as well. And again, this is coming up as the masculine and the feminine, right? The parent and the child. And this is the blood dance of the heart while the feminine waits for the masculine's heart to start churning and becoming the intention as opposed to the sexual organs being the intention. So that's very interesting. So we have the Emperor who's very simple in the Enchanted Forest of the Truth, being present without in the Spiral Dance of the Goddess without their throat choking off. And then we have the womb of the earth as the hearts start pumping of the masculine and feminine coming together. And then these last 3 came up as well, which then now we have the 369, which was just on the clock, of the essential awakening of the 64, which is the bliss of the Mary Magdalene carrying the weight of the world, knowing without knowing, the 41 of trusting her instincts and her knowing of self-love, spiritual love, and new love. You notice the color match here. And then we have the riding of the cosmic wave of a heart that's fully open without fear. And there's peace here and riding that cosmic wave. It's like perfectly willing Mary Magdalene energy to carry the weight of love when you know, and you can open your heart to peace and all that is, and riding that cosmic wave in the bliss of letting the pain go, right? That there is no pain in carrying that kind of weight on your shoulders when you let go into that 5D energy, and you just know, and you see how all the colors come together here, right? So these colors in this card are being blasted over here, and really blasting that kind of magenta indigo energy over here, and riding that cosmic wave and elevating your vibration. When you have that vibration, the weight feels very light. You don't feel it anymore. It's like if you've ever been meditating and you felt pain in the position of a leg or an arm or something like that, if you just allow yourself to sit through it, it subsides, that you can get through it. It then goes away. This is what the feminine has learned over her journey of the masculine and the feminine coming together as two hearts as one, and creating that egg, that golden egg of the worm, the innocent little worm, as opposed to the snake. It's just a sweet little energy of the inner children, of their hearts beating and being birthed together. It's very beautiful. We have the Emperor being very simple and trying and having that enchanted forest picture for himself and needing to clear his throat, while the feminine stays in her high vibe energy, willing to carry the weight of the world and yet ride the wave at the same time. It's really beautiful energy. So let's see what the worm has to say for you, and then those. The worm, of course, is Earth, I believe. Where are you, worm? There's the worm. The worm is after the bear. The worm is shy, hesitant, reluctant to share their inner vision. We've all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time, and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it, it's a beginner's mind that offers the most valuable insights. When in balance, earnest, intelligent, and valuable. When out of balance, self-conscious and apprehensive. To bring into balance, speak up and risk embarrassment, right? There's no stupid question. It's that same kind of energy there. So it's like me having faith that no matter what I say, and even maybe intellectually thinking it doesn't make sense, it doesn't matter. You're being guided by spirit to do something. You're trusting that it is the right thing. So then we have the first card out, which was the simplicity of the number 4. And the mouse, 3 blind mice there. Bow to that which is simple. You'll find the answers to your most complex issues and those questions that seem to defy the possibility of an answer. You'll find the solution now through simplicity. Live one day at a time. Have gratitude for whatever you possibly can, even if you're yet to understand why you should be grateful, because you cannot perceive the gift hiding within your struggles quite yet. Trust in the goodness of life, seeking to serve you and becoming the fullness of all that you are. Yes, beloved, even in your darkest nights, the light of love is serving you. The most sophisticated of problems can be resolved through a simple answer. And you notice how problem solving came up in the reading as well, regarding, what was it called? Whatever the next problem was, is this same energy of trying to crack the codes, right? With the Hydra and the problem that's too difficult to solve. The Oracle brings you an answer that everything's going to be all right. Don't add fuel to the fire and look for ways to sort out complicated matters prematurely or before it's needed. Sometimes the ingredients need to cook and percolate so that they can become a meal. Just like the Jesus reference of my blood in my body here at the meal and saying a prayer. The circumstances with which you are struggling will right themselves in time. Stay present and be patient. Pray in your own way. Meditation, time in nature, and dance and literally talk to the divine. When you need to take a clear, simple action, you will feel it. Relax and know it's all going to work out for the best. And it simply states, there is peace for one whose heart is open, which the cards definitely reference that. Okay, so really beautiful today. I love that. So I invite you to drink your water, to breathe, to get your beauty rest, to get your joy and your nature. Get out there and get your face in the sun a bit. And do what your guidance tells you most of all, over anyone. And of course, you're going to rise and be loved too. And breathe. Bye guys. Rise and be loved.